Yo, GM, everyone. I don't know what is going on with Twitter today. Yeah, it's been bad. That's like my third attempt to get this space rolling, but it looks like we're good to go. Homestead was having issues, but he's probably dealing with the same stuff that I was dealing with, so I apologize. But that's nothing that some coffee and some caffeine can't solve, so I'm going to invite you back up. I actually, full disclosure, have been up for about about 5 hours already, which is unusual for me on a Friday since it's only 9:40 in the morning right now. So I'm gonna invite you again, Homestead. What up, bro?
GM, man. It looks like in the App Store for iOS, at least, there's a X update. So people need to install their updates if they want to get in spaces. That's always the issue with getting rugged on taking a mic or hearing a speaker or things like that. So just shout out for everyone. Update your X app today.
Yeah, I actually should make a post about that. They must have just did that though, because I did 2 spaces already today, and I was fine. And I haven't done the update yet, so which is weird. I know I didn't do it yet.
I think what happens, bro, is you end up getting different people on different versions, right? And as people start to update, you've got like some people who are running the most updated version of the app, and you've got other people that. And what happens is our IP addresses aren't syncing up or whatever, or because we don't have the right updated version, like it doesn't let you see the speaker, or I don't know what it is, but it always seems to be around an X update where this happens. And what you're saying is totally true, right? Like some people won't have any problem at all, but some people will just get completely rugged in spaces, and it can really mess up a space, especially at the start, right? Like you're doing right now, and you don't realize that's the issue. So we could try and kill some time and tell all these people join in. Dude, check out your app store and update X today. It seems to be an issue right now.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Yeah, man. Because I started the first one up, and it made sense now that you're saying that, because usually by like default the music just starts and that's it, and then whenever I start it and that doesn't happen, I'm like, oh, we're getting rugged, because it'll just be completely mute right off the start, and then you can't see anyone that joins, and it's just a mess. But whatever. What up, Weston?
Good morning. Yeah, spaces are like constantly rugging. Everyone has to like leave, come back, end it, leave, come back, mic off, mic on, can't hear people. Hopefully this update works out though.
Hey,
And
man, hopefully. It's like kind of like my fun zone, my bread and butter is just kicking it and talking about whatever. So
yeah, I'm glad I'm comfortable on the mic now because before I was just lurking.
what PFP is that, by the way?
This is a mad scientist, but I wanted to zoom in on the mouse that was like on his head.
Oh, okay. I thought so at first, but I was like, well, maybe not, because it's just like the top part, but that makes sense. Yeah, I think I have like 3 or 4 mad scientists. I haven't been keeping up. Like, what's going on with them?
I have 3. I got some lab too. I got like 20 lab. They keep teasing like there's some reason to hold lab, so I would put some in your wallet and just leave it there, which is kind of hard for degens because I need to like stake. I'm better at leaving some money on the side, but stuff in the wallet used to just always get spent. Uh, Homestead, you might remember just at the beginning of me coming back to Stargaze, I'd buy a bunch of stuff and then I'd dump it because I'd see something else I wanted. So, but Mad Scientist is going good. I was in a space this week and it was like not Stargaze, so I bought a lab and I've seen more people hop on. The community is super active. I do have to enroll in Mad University, but the deal with that is you don't need a mad scientist, which is like, I don't know the price right now, probably like 200, $300. But you just need like a little bit of lab to participate. And then you can earn more stuff by like kind of doing social, like posting. And they've dialed it back a little bit because it was too much at the front end. But I know there's more going on. They dropped a game. But yeah, community's active. I would get one. It's Osmosis. It's the first, I guess I'm going to call it a blue chip now. Blue chip on Osmosis. First NFT on Osmosis. So
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I have a collection, because technically I created a NFT collection, Osmosis themed comic book, like all the way back in 2021. Like you could even see the metadata, and like I thought back then that they were going to have NFTs on Osmosis, and the Luna and UST crash happened, and that just kind of got put on the back burner. And so what I'm going to be doing, hopefully, I was talking to Zerk, is just airdropping it. I can't talk right now, to some holders. I don't know how I would do it though, because I think the collection's like less than 500, and there's obviously more than 500 holders of the collection. So, but yeah, it's just gonna airdrop them. They're really cool, man. Like it's all Osmosis themed. Like, yeah, dude, they're pretty dope. And I'm just gonna drop it because, like I said, I created it so long ago. And people are like, well, why don't you just throw it on Stargaze? And I was like, yeah, it just kind of defeats the purpose. Like I know eventually Osmosis is gonna get NFTs. I just didn't know how long it was gonna be. Like you can even tell, like it's like a cover of a comic book, and it has 2022 on it because that's like when I finished the collection. So I was like, I'm not changing it because this is when the freaking thing was made, and it's kind of OG theme too. Like it has some cool themes like with Chihuahua and some other shit on there. So they're pretty dope. And I'm just gonna airdrop it to people or figure out a way to do that with some holders. So it's a little bit of alpha. And Xerk and the guys from BBL have been talking to me about it, so we'll see what's going on with that. I don't care to make any money from it. I did it originally just to have fun, so.
Is it going to be in your art style?
Yeah, it's like I could probably, while we're doing the space, probably show one in the comments. They're pretty cool. And then while we're talking about that, I've actually got a coffee meme token that I launched, and I don't know if it's going to be worth anything or not. It's not really the point of it, but I it's if you look in the chat right now, it's to qualify. All you have to do is just download the FX wallet and then just screenshot with your OX wallet address, and I'll send you over some coffee. But I plan on doing these spaces probably. I don't want to say every Friday, but intentionally, I'm going to attempt to do that. But that's depending on if like I'm working at a conference or something. But other than that, I try to do it every Friday. I'll obviously need some help. So anyone in the community, if you want to help, I don't know if it'll lead you to some glorious, prosperous monetary incentive or whatever. But I do know people that know people that know people that who know people. So there's always that as well. And I can always try to help. And that's kind of my goal in the space anyways, is try to, hopefully, financial freedom, but also just freedom in general. So you can remove yourself from the hamster wheel and do something that you enjoy to do, whether that's just, artistic creations or whatever. But this space offers everything, to be honest with you. And I'm kind of like a full testament of that. If you would have told me any of this stuff would have been happening over 3 years ago, I would have thought you're all on some sort of drugs that I probably should be taking, because it's crazy, man. I never see myself out of like what I was doing beforehand. I wanted to, but there was really nowhere else for me to do. And then I hopped into this space. It's been since basically COVID, so how long that's been now. It seems like time takes forever, but yeah, and it's been awesome, man. It's great. Like today this is my third space of the day, and it's insane that I would be doing any of this stuff, man. It's just crazy. It's kind of a shout out to like the Cosmos community, because they embraced me from day one. Now, don't get me wrong, I put a lot of work in before I started doing spaces or content or whatever, because I didn't think I was going to do any of that shit. And but it kind of just embraced me. Maybe call it luck or faith or whatever, but it's awesome, and I kind of went with it, and I can't get enough of this space. It's just so much fun. So shout out to everyone here. Happy Friday, GMs. I'm on my third caffeinated drink. I don't drink coffee, believe it or not, but these things are like coffee pods. They're called coffee donut. And they're like refreshers. So if anyone's been to Starbucks and you see those refreshers, that's kind of like what I'm drinking right now. They're so tasty.
Well, to that end, just to chill you, I'll definitely get that coffee. But if we want to throw some gas on that, everyone should go retweet that pinned post so more people buy the coffee or get the coffee, and let's get that token distributed.
Yeah, man. I have some things that I have in the future pipeline with it. over the last 2 weeks or so, I've been just traveling to different conferences, and then when I do finally get home, it's like my grass is real high, and I got a shitload of grass. It's like I got to just do a bunch of stuff I don't want to do. It's almost like I should just start paying people to do my own yard, but I kind of feel weird doing that. It's like, look at this dickhead. Like, why is he paying someone? He's young still. It's like, why is he paying someone to do his yard? So I don't want that, But I'm most to that point, man. It's like anything that's not I don't want to say benefiting me, but just like taking my time away from things that I want to do. It's like, do I want to just pay for that? Like, and I'm not trying to flex or anything because that's not my style. It's just, dude, I go out and mow the grass. It takes me like an hour and a half, and then I'm sneezing. And it's like, I'm kind of tired of this stuff. Too bougie anymore, Crypto made me kind of bougie.
I heard you talking about New York.
Yeah, New York was fun, man. I was down in Austin at Consensus. That was an awesome event. Super hot though. Every day it was like 110 degrees. Wasn't really outside too often, but yeah, it was hot, which I like the heat, so it's whatever. And then yeah, I literally came home for, I don't know, maybe a day and a half, and then grabbed my stuff and then went to New York for DevMos. And I think that was the most beneficial event I've ever been to, but it was definitely a computer science class. Like even some of it was going over my head. I mean, it was all the main devs basically that in Cosmos, and they're just aliens, half of them. But it was cool because I got like all the slides and I could just nerd out and see all the stuff, and it was a lot of code, but it was cool to see why they're doing things that they're doing. And sometimes people come off as like not trying to be collaborative with other blockchains, but due to like the hardware, the tech stack, there's some things that they're trying to build that they just simply can't. So unfortunately they have to just do it on their own. And sadly, crypto Twitter made me realize sometimes like how irky it could be is that the space, like the conversations weren't live. I think there's not going to be live until like next week, like the presentations and things from the different teams throughout the 2-day event. And people were making all these assumptions and comments and assertions of like why you're doing this, and just like like people were being who they are and showing their true colors. And it's like weird because it's like, dude, how can you make that sort of like claim when you don't even know what they were talking about? And but yeah, I guess it's the world we live in. So it's all good, bro. Not getting morbid out here.
Well, I'll say next time I want you to sit front row when you're recording those videos.
Yeah, I was, but like I was trying to move around and they were videoing it, so I didn't want to be like that person that just keeps like walking in front of the camera and stuff like that. But the first day for like the first half of it, I was like the second or third row. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just go a little bit further back here because I'm trying to move around and stuff. And no, man, it was awesome. Like I think New York, sometimes it gets a backlash, but I think New York is like an amazing place. It's so much fun. I anytime I get to go, I'm pretty much in New York about every 6 weeks or so now. I feel like, but it's just a great place. I think everyone should go there if you haven't been there because it's great. But yeah, man. What have you been up to, Homestead? I haven't talked to you in a while. It's been a few weeks.
Hey, bro. Yeah, man. It's summertime here, right? And I'm the Homestead pleb, so I got the kids out of school now. I am summer, so that's fun. But they're getting bigger and older, and it's even more taxing than it used to be. Bro, I tell you what, by yesterday at 4 o'clock, I felt like an old man. And then the garden is booming big time right now, so that takes up a good bit of my day. You could can your crybaby allergy talk. Get out there, touch some grass, grow your
Yeah.
own food, embrace your role as a pleb in this planet, and be happier than when you're harvesting your own high quality food. And then, yeah, man, I'm just trying to help out on Stargaze and kind of cross chain where I can. I see V down there throwing up the hearts. I try and help out the ninja side. Maybe I can pin my giveaway if you don't mind. There's one going on
Yeah.
for Wizard DAO. Some of the ninjas unrugged a project, like an OG Talus project they unrugged. And they've collaborated with Galactic Syndicate big time, Galactic Mining Club big time. So they've really established like some good partnership. And there's some like OG ninjas, right? Like, so they have really good ties to the ninja community. So they're just trying to hype this magic coin they're doing, and then continuing to like build out and expand that community. Just give me a second, I'll pin that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's awesome.
There we go. So yeah, if anybody wants to enter that, you could get a chance to win a Wizard DAO NFT. There's 3 of those up for grabs, and there's 10 times airdrop spots for the magic token. They'll have a pre-sale event through their DAO portal for that tomorrow. So if you're active on Injective or curious about Injective, curious maybe, right? Go check that out. Click on it all. It's legit stuff, right? These are community bros that have derugged a project, and again, they have real good community ties. So you know, like it's the stuff of bullishness. Somebody put that in the comments of my giveaway, so I'm parroting it, right? But like that is the stuff of bullishness. That's what you want to see when you're getting into something. I'll shout out Punks. Haas, you helped me do some giveaways
Yeah,
for that whitelist, bro. That mint went well. That guy is a real guy, man. He has a plan for like collaborating with the biggest projects. Like they've swept floors of, I think Becky's is in here. They swept Galactic Mining Club. I think they swept Pixels, Squids. They swept Wreck Gang, Chickens and Bulls, I think. I'm not certain about the Bulls. Don't hold me to that quote. But anyways, just like tying themselves to some of the biggest projects out there. The idea the guy is doing is he's trying to create his like vault basically for the case games that he wants to run. So the NFTs he's swept and like the projects he's collaborated with are some of the top ones out there because those are going to be the prizes of the case games that he's building out. So dude really has a big plan and has done a great job in like that first phase. So definitely should give a shout out if you're looking for newer projects that are like setting themselves up for success, right? Like I said, really a plan to collaborate with the biggest projects. Sometimes projects don't really have a great idea of what that post-mint phase looks like, what they're doing there, and how they're continuing to keep that attention on themselves. This project really seemed to, so I got to give that a shout out. And
they're
then it's
coming.
Freshman Friday on Stargaze, so I'd be remiss if I didn't say something about that, right? Since I'm the Stargaze ambassador. So we've got a few projects minting this week, y'all. There's Crypto Hamsters from like kind of a community guy who did a small project on Halving Day to kind of get some feel for the community and get community started. Now this is a bigger PFP project on the featured page. And then we also have Ara. She's more of a fine arts, classical arts artist, but she's done a PFP set for this week. It's a limited PFP set. There's only 60, and it's like collage of fine art stuff. So different like tearaways from old school magazines, and including some of her art, and including some of Web3 culture. And so it's all this different like pasted together parts of a profile picture that actually makes a profile picture, and it's called PFP's Profile Fine Pics, because she's in the fine art side of things. So if you got some stars and you're minting today, check out those. Let me check on my kids, and I'll listen in for the next time you ring
Yeah,
my ears.
that was good stuff, bro. Yeah, and I was just kicking it with Darius and Shane and Cortland and Steve, and I'm trying to think who else. Like a lot of the Stargaze peeps at this place in New York on Sunday night. It was cool. Yeah, it's Stargaze is the vibes, man. Like it's just so underrated, man. Stargaze is so awesome. Like that's like one of the places that I'm always kicking it is like on Stargaze and checking stuff out. Sometimes it is inadvertently getting me away from my work that I need to get done because I'm just staring away at JPEG after JPEG. But yeah, Stargaze is the vibes. But what's up, Westman?
NFTs are a good diversion, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly though, like in all seriousness, NFTs has kind of, I don't want to say escalated, but guided me to where I'm at now because people can meet me at conferences and things of that nature, and it's not like I'm scared to like show who I am. I just personally don't do that on Twitter. Like if someone pins me or ats me and they had a picture with me, I guess I don't necessarily care, but I don't prefer it. I just kind of like to chill, man. And so like PFPs I've created like this, not on purpose either, but I've created this like brand and an image and just fun. Like I just my artwork that I do I guide around my bad kid. I can have derivatives if I love NFTs. If teams are like, hey, would you like to help out, and we'll make you a one of one, and they make me like whatever their style is, but a derivative of my bad kid. Like I'm super pumped about it because then it just helps me. I just take that image and then I mess around and create more artwork or post and things of that nature. And because it's just like people don't realize like, how hard it is to create content because it's just there's only so much material, there's only so much you can say. And I'm not a person that will sit here and scoop down to a low level. Like I feel like a lot of content creators they run out of material, so they just get abrasive or confrontational or real morbid and negative about everything because unfortunately humans love negativity. It's why if you watch the news everything's negative, negative, negative. And then now I'm starting to see it like a plague a little bit throughout different Cosmos people that I used to like or hang out with. And I check their page out and it's just nonstop negativity. It's like, I don't have time for this, man. Even if you have some good points, like it's never bad to listen to, I think everyone has good ideas. So like whether that person's someone you want to like have a drink with or punch in the face or whatever, it's a different thing. But I still feel like every human has a good idea. And so, like, I do like to tune into them. And Luna UST thing taught me some valuable lessons to, like, sometimes listen to people that are negative. But if the person's just negative about everything or blames, like, another team or project or whatever on every shortcomings that they have, I just don't have time for that. It's just in real life, too. Like, I've a lot of my family members, I just only deal with them during the holidays because they're always bitching about stuff, and I just don't have time for it. It's like you control, for the most part, you control your own destiny. So like if you're sitting there whining, or if you have enough time to sit there and bitch and whine about the news all the time, then you have time to be productive. Because like I don't know about you or whomever, but if you have a family, you're probably busy with your family. But me, I'm I rarely even watch television because I'm just always grinding and working, man. Or if I'm not doing that, I'm outside exercising or doing something outside or traveling. Like I just don't have time to watch bullshit or listen to people that are just negative all the time. My rant's over about that, but yeah, man, like my point is like the NFTs, it's crazy because when I first got into space, I thought NFTs were so stupid, but I guess that was the boomer initiative I've made. But yeah, man, if it wasn't for NFTs, I feel like I wouldn't even be doing any of this stuff, which is crazy. But yeah, man,
Yeah, bro.
shout out to NFT.
I hear that sentiment a lot from a lot of Stargaze people. You got to realize too, like a lot of people in Cosmos, they were entrants kind of at the run up of last cycle or even at the top of last cycle, right? Like some of the airdrop FOMO and things like that. There's so many people who say like, if it wasn't for Stargaze, I would have just left. I wouldn't have stuck around through bear market times. Through like, there are tons of my followers that say like, the vibes of Stargaze, the communities, that type of stuff really made it a lot easier to just grind through that last 2 years to get to this point now where we're like hovering at previous all-time high, right? Like, so just echoing that point of like what you're saying, like it definitely like NFTs have a thing and a place in this Web3 industry, right? And like more than just pictures, they're a diverse, they're something that keeps you going. There's something that connects other people. Bro, you're wearing the deriv of your thing for Last Samurais, right? And that's an onboarding project, right? Like let's shout out Last Samurais while we're here. It's going to be the Genesis PFP project on our chain. Uh, Obviously y'all know what those projects can do and a lot of times what they're geared towards, right? But also like it is set up to be an onboarding project. Like I've done some whitelist giveaways for them and I've explained to people like this is how you go find your RI address in your IBC wallet or like go into your Osmosis portfolio tab and add the chain, things like that. So like there's a lot of stuff to do with NFTs. There's a big place for them here and certainly they can be one of the more positive things in the space as long as you're not doing all that negative engagement baiting you're talking about, right?
Yeah, man. And the same, and it gives a shout out to meme coins too, especially the ones that are, trying to build some fun and culture around it. Like, I personally don't have the time to be putting a million hours into like the coffee token, but like it is what it is. Like I'm gonna try to help spread the knowledge and the gospel of crypto with it, and if it goes to wherever it goes. But yeah, I don't care to make any money off it. It's just like something I just want to have fun. My goal is it actually to be worth something, and then when I do these spaces, that I actually can give some coffee away, and if you want to actually go buy a cup of coffee, or maybe I turn it into a gift card, and send it to someone or something. I don't know. I have ideas. I just, like I said, I'm so busy, just grinding, man. Like I yeah, shout out to NFTs though, because I don't want to say it gave me the confidence to do things in this space, but it gave me the confidence to continue doing what I want to do and have fun while I'm doing it, and continuously using that as my image. Like that's what's so cool about this space. It's like I'm Cosmos Hoss, like, and I got that. I've been going by Hoss for like 20 years, and I threw the word Cosmos in front of it. But like, I always visualize Cosmos as just like this ubiquitous name that just connects all the blockchains. I don't ever, and I have never, not for one moment, thought of the word atom when I thought of Cosmos. Unfortunately, a lot of people on the outside do. And then it kind of just confuses people. And that's one of the even talking points at the very beginning of the Devmos concert. Yeah, it wasn't a concert. Event was that, although I'd love to go to a concert, that, rebranding it to like the interchange, just for the simplicity of people would understand it more. And also, let's let a kid, I know how VCs work. So unfortunately, when you say, hey, I'm a blah, 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 I'm a Cosmos L1, they look at it initially like, okay, the cap is only going to be 3 billion because Adam is the grandfather, even though, like I said, this isn't really true. Adam's the grandfather, and it's only worth, whatever, 3 point blah, blah, blah $billion. So they look at it like this blockchain, if it's a Cosmos L1, can only kind of play second fiddle, even though that's technically in theory not true. And so like the VC monies want to go elsewhere. And Barachain was a perfect and prime example of it. They tried to raise saying they were Cosmos L1. They really weren't getting any funding except for actual crypto VC funds, because crypto people realize like the importance of the technology and how innovative and it's been since forever. And everyone that's doing some sort of scaling solutions using like the Cosmos SDK or like some sort of form of it anyhow. And but anyways, they tried to raise money. They basically couldn't raise what they were trying to do. They rebranded themselves as just, oh, we're proof of liquidity interchain or whatever they were using. And then they were raising so much money, and they were even doing around at like $2.5 billion and actually getting some raise for that. So I mean, when people seeing that, they're like, let's not kid where you're at. It's like people are like, all right, well, we're gonna try to rebrand. Some of them are doing it just for money, I guess, but um, you know, but also it is a little confusing. Like a consensus event, talking to a lot of people that aren't Cosmos people, and they're like, oh yeah, Atom, like you need Atom. Like, no, you don't need Atom for anything. And this is no knock on Atom. It's the beauty of Cosmos and Atom and everything else is like they're all sovereign entities, and you don't need it. Like, if Atom went to zero, like Stargaze will still be there, Osmosis will still be there, Injective will still be there. They'll all still be there. A ride chain will still be there. Would it suck? Yeah, like no one wants that to happen. Do I think that'll ever happen? No, I don't actually. But who knows about the future? But it's just the fact of it. Everyone's so trained that, I love Solana. I do. It's fun, but like you need Sol for everything you do on Solana. But like that's not really how it is in Cosmos. It's like a lot of the chains, like Osmosis, you can go and mess around on Osmosis and use like I don't know how many tokens it is now for gas, which is so cool. Even meme coins you can use for gas. Like I have some Ninja from Injective on Osmosis, and I could use that for gas. Like it's super cool that it's just like a really good experience. Like, the main friction point in this space is like, oh, I want to go mess around on this chain, but I need to get the gas. And maybe the token's not a real big token yet and not on every centralized exchange. And it's just kind of annoying, It's like, just be able to use shit. I wish all the teams, one of my thoughts about like Cosmos as a whole is like every Cosm chain should just accept everything as gas. And then there should be a way that you just get like a premium or some sort of some sort of like benefit or incentive to use the actual underlying token for gas, but you shouldn't have to. And I think that would just make the interchain, if you want to call it interchain, just so much even better, you know? So that's what I was thinking about when I was listening to the guys talk. And then it was actually all guys. There were women there, but just like listening to what they were saying, I was like, man, I just wish everyone would just use everything as the same gas token. It would be so cool. Like everything was just accepted.
There was, I'm not sure what type of transaction, but I've seen it like some things you can pick between two, like which is going to be the gas token. So yeah, definitely that would be great. And then just since I have the mic, I wanted to piggyback on Homestead. On the Magic coin, I'm also running a promo. Bardo's running a promo. IBC Birds is running a promo. I'm gonna try to pin those up, but if you wanted to max out your odds, retweet all those.
Sounds like I need to run a promo too. So I see you're in there, Magic, if you wanted to come up and talk. But yeah, I'm all down, especially Injective. I love Injective. I run a validator on Injective. So to show myself, if you have any spare Injective you want to stake to the Haas Army, do it up, man. I'll take
Check it, bro. Don't worry, I know how it is, but I was talking to Homestead yesterday. Some of our, going back to what you were just saying about, you weren't really into NFTs and stuff, I was very much the same. Last cycle, I had a couple of the, game metaverse NFTs, but I just couldn't get the whole fuss around, these people got these pictures and it's kind of pretending to be crypto, and I just didn't get it, like you said. And, this cycle, I started out, looking for all the plays and, building myself up on the CX and the DEXs. And, as soon as I dived in, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm running Wizard DAO and we're about to launch Magic Coin. It's going to be like a meme / high utility coin with a whole eco around it. But yeah, until I dived into this ecosystem and NFT culture and, the community, I just didn't get it. But I think, once you engage with the actual culture and, you build communities and part of communities, it completely changes your experience in crypto. You're not just looking at charts and figures anymore. You're dealing with people and, building vibes and building teams. And, it goes crazy, completely different. I literally unstaked all my native staking and went all in on NFTs, probably too overexposed. But yeah, loving it right now, bro. And, yeah, man, we'd love to see you run a giveaway. I have messaged you, so
Yeah,
let's run. And if you want to give a few magic airdrop spots away on this space to any of your people, feel free, man. And be happy to answer a few questions if anyone wants to speak about it a bit more.
yeah, for sure. It's like, yeah, it didn't take me too long to like turn to NFTs though. I remember my first NFT ever was a secret punk, and then after I went down that rabbit hole, like it's been 3 years now. I am I have to put myself on timeouts because it gets a little bit of like I want to call it like a borderline sickness because one of my stupid non-financial advice goals, I think I've said this a couple times on these spaces, was I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it. Like, I'm gonna try to find a blue chip NFT on every single chain that I feel is gonna be around, in the next 10 years or whatever. And I started to do it. Started getting kind of lucky, kind of leveraging my connections with all the different people to kind of vibe out like who are the good communities and who do they think is like a must have NFT, not just from like the general populace, but like from people that are like some serious skin in the game. And I'm not gonna lie, they've routed me into the right directions for the most part, and I have like the NFT that you want to have on every major chain. And for a while I always just looked at everything like, oh, this is just a donation. I lost everything that I put in, and it's not cool. Like, it's kind of stupid. Like, it's an idiotic move by myself. But I also looked at it like I'm just trying to have fun and then kind of just like talk to people and blah, blah, blah. Maybe use it for marketing and whatever. Just have fun. And then, I don't know, maybe about 6-8 months ago, like airdrop season came around, and it was like, oh, yeah, if you own this NFT, you get these airdrops. And it was like, all right, well, I guess I got my return back, or at least broke even. I don't really sell anything, so technically I'm probably still down because I like never sell. But yeah, man, and I'm not the person to ask like, oh yeah, but I don't look down on people, but I don't buy and sell NFTs. I just don't do it. Like, I don't do it. I give them away. I've given a bag kit away to someone that used to help me a lot on stuff, and I told them And this is before before any airdrops ever came to any like a backend holder. I said, just don't sell it. If you want to sell it, like just hit me up. I'll buy it back off you. But I was like, I really think that eventually I said, I really think that airdrops are going to start coming to backend holders because it is the culture of IBC. And like for the first time, all the bickering and all the nonsense, like the only thing, literally the only thing that kind of united and unified everyone in Cosmos was being a bad kid. Because it was like the ultimate sign. It was the first collection in all of crypto, throughout all of crypto, not just Cosmos, that was hand drawn and just kind of like didn't care, did like essentially at the very beginning did no marketing whatsoever. They still don't. No shilling. It was just like, what everyone was like. I remember back in the day, oh, these things are ugly. People are stupid and that was the whole point. And they're like, yeah, so what's your point? Like, it's like that was the point of it, and it worked, man. Like, I wish I grabbed more of them because it was like one, the mint was on my birthday, March 11th, so I should have just set it as a sign for myself. I actually missed the mint, but I went to permissionless. This was like May in 22, and I was talking to a lot of people there, a lot of devs, and people were like, "Hey, you need to get some bad kids, like just get them." And I kind of listened, but didn't listen, and because I just had the PTSD from, I think that was literally like a week after the Luna and UST crash happened. So I wasn't like spending money on like just dumb stuff. I was like, I'm gonna kind of, because I just lost a shitload of money from UST go to zero basically. But no, man, NFTs are awesome. I think it's the best way. NFTs and memes are literally the best way to get people in this space. Like, it's crazy, man. Anyone I talk to, especially like Americans, if you ask them, and it's usually like my age. I'm 38. If I ask someone 38 years old or around my age, like, hey, do you own any crypto? They might say Bitcoin, but a lot of them are going to say Dogecoin. Like, they're just like, I'm serious. They're going to be like, oh, I own some Dogecoin. Like, it's just funny, dude.
Yeah, and what you're kind of hinting at is part of what I'm trying to bridge with what we're doing with Wizard DAO. I mean, I've got like 300 now. I never intended on buying that many, but it just became that way. And, I feed a lot of them back into the community, and we use that to kind of build the community. But part of what we're kind of looking to do with Wizard DAO is we've got a DAO portal up now, so there's going to be a lot of democratic decisions. We already decide on stuff through the Discord, but ultimately the way it's going, we're going to have a full utility suite. So it's going to be a pretty much place you go to, and you have all the tools you need to navigate through Web3. We're going to announce one of the first really cool features a bit later. But yeah, like NFTs can draw people in, but then I want to also take it to the next level where we then all work together. We've got like alpha section and stuff on the Discord. We share opportunities, we share upcoming airdrops, and that's not just what I see powerful about NFTs, but really about the Cosmos chain in general. Like, I see Backbone Labs down there. He graciously gave us like 20 lab to start us off after the derug. We've been derugged about 2 months now, and that went miles to help us, do what we're doing. And, Galactic Syndicate and Galactic Mining, they're family as well now. So it's not like you even just have your own NFT community. We've got multiple NFT communities around us all working together now. And that's where I see, Cosmos really striding forward and where we've got strength in the future. Could people on the outside see it as just like fragmented liquidity? I've heard the argument so many times, but us on the inside, we know each chain brings a bit of a different flavor. We know different chains. Like, if I want to go and do something stupidly complex DeFi wise, I'm going over to Terra with these boys. You know what I mean? If I want something user friendly, rapid, fast and cheap, I'm coming over to Injective, and you get that UI experience. And the things that we're doing moving forward, can't say too much about all of them, but there's some very big things in the work. They're bringing them flavors together. I want to get that Terra back end and the utility, and I want the clean front end of Injective and the ease and speed. And that's where I think we really take over and start making some big noise in the space. And hopefully, with the stuff we're building, Wizard DAO is going to be a part of that, because, at the core of what we're doing, it's not just benefiting ourselves and profiting. Like we love the NFTs, we love the community. But, the other day I paid someone that did some work from us that's overseas. I paid him like $200 as a bit of an advance because he's been working so well. And he was so grateful, bro. It's like a quarter of his rent where he is. So I also see it from that perspective. If we do this properly, there's so much liquidity out there to look after everyone. As long as we're not greedy, we can all eat well and we can change people's lives, bro. And that's what it's about at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, totally, man. That's what I honestly, man, like it helped me like stick to the bear market and keep being motivated was like hearing people's stories, mainly non-Americans because a lot of Americans are entitled and a lot of them don't see the direct need yet for crypto. They will over time, but hearing people's stories, maybe I had like a $50 giveaway and they won, and some sort of like entitled cavalier American. You're like, oh yeah, maybe my wife and I can go get like a dinner or something, and like in other countries they're like, yeah man, that was like food for the whole month. And it's just it helps. And my background being in accounting and finance and just doing like taxation and seeing how the game is played and how rigged it is, and like this is the only chance really is like trying to right all the wrongs. And there's so many positivity, there's just so much more positivity in this industry compared to the negativity. All the negativity is usually some sort of human doing something wrong, and it's not like the code or the tech or whatever. So I would much rather have rule-based systems that is kind of we're all in it together, as opposed to just such the top down, and the top down being just so, especially with all the inflation and all the nonsense. It's even the gap has even grown even more. Like you could just follow the numbers, like when COVID happened, and see where all the money went. And even people that don't think about this, but they're like, oh yeah, we all got money from COVID. Well, one, it was all fake money. It was printed, but all that money just went back to the top anyways, because no one saved it. They all spent it because they needed it. And then it just went to, it just went to the Amazons and all that stuff anyhow. So, you
We'll
know,
pay more to pay it back anyway. Like the cost, I don't know, 'cause I know it's hit everyone, but the cost of living, I'm in England and the cost of living crisis here is crazy. Like some of the things you're buying are like triple the price, double the price. No one's got as much money, so income's down. And like you say, it's that trickle down economy. It's never going to work. And I think, the crypto space, it does give us that way where we can work, sideways and out rather than, I try never to say anyone works for me. We're all working together, toward a combined goal that benefits all. And I think this is one of the few ways where you can take a bit of power back in financial, because they talk about SEC or CBDCs, which are getting knocked back now, but how are they ever really going to have full control over crypto? When you can build new things, look at the dark web as an example, it's that vast, they can't touch it. And, crypto has the power to do that as well. There's not many spaces you can go in and, like our D-Rug, we literally had the donation from Backbone Labs, a bit of money from myself and, whatever royalties we had. And, within the space of like 2 months, we've built something completely different. We built our whole ecosystem and it's only going to get bigger and better, man. So appreciate to everyone that's chipping into that, man. It's next level over here on Cosmos.
oh yeah. And before I get over to you, Pop, I'm gonna shout everyone out. I see FX, MarginX, Purse. I'm gonna post something on the Coffee with Hoss, but it's really cool. Like it's just like a little browser app that you can add to your Twitter, and you earn like some points, and they actually convert that over to the Purse token, which is pretty cool. And it's just like a kind of like a Twitter engagement tool. I use it. It's really fun. Doesn't cost anything. You literally just do Twitter like you're just normally doing. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, Backbone. No, this for like a long time. Some Geki, Orbitons, even Blob, which is a cool NFT vibe over on Multiverse. I met the founder at Consensus. Really good individual. Awesome. V, Low, Chill, um, Ztel. If I'm missing anyone, I see a Babu in the crowd. Shout out to the Babu. See a Sloth and a Mad Scientist and everyone else, man. Yeah, vibes are good. John, I see John. He's always following me. I follow people just so you don't know. Like it doesn't, if you don't care. I do follow people that like. I don't care if you have like 5 followers, 50,000. If you're engaging and you're always active and you're doing your thing, man. Like think about this. Like everyone starts with 0 followers. Like I started off with 0 followers. I didn't even think I'd be doing any of this. Like I technically hated social media, man. Like before I only got Twitter because I knew it was the only way that like information was getting disseminated very quickly. And this is no knock on YouTube people, but like I don't use YouTube because it's already out of date. Like no one does live feeds. Everyone's sitting there editing and making sure the video looks good and all, and they didn't like mess up, and it's too late. Like this space moves too fast for that. Not that YouTube doesn't have its place. Like to me, the only thing good about crypto YouTube is videos that stand the test of time. So like tutorials and stuff like that, or like your future outlook. If you're like, hey, I think like crypto is going to do blah 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 in 2028 or whatever, like that's a cool video. But like if you're just telling me something about whatever, it's like it's too late. So I do Twitter, and I people are like, you need to do a YouTube channel. I technically have one. I just don't do YouTube, and it's no knock on YouTube. And plus, I don't know, man. YouTube, unless you're like really big, you got to watch what you say on there. It's like Twitter since Elon took it over. But you can hate him or love him or whatever, but Twitter has 1,000 times got better. Now, does it still rug and the technical issues? Absolutely, it's annoying. But I just know from my 3.5 year grind or whatever it's been, that when I first got in, this was before Elon took it. It was like you had to watch. Like you couldn't even say the word COVID, and you would have got shadow banned and all that stuff. So dude, like I feel like he's doing a good job with freedom. So I use this space because I'm a freedom maxi at the end of the day, and I think crypto is literally the ultimate sign of freedom because it's like you can choose to buy what you want to buy, go do what you want to do, you can experience what you want to experience, and no one says, "Hey, yeah, you can't swap your ETH to this or you go buy this and go do that." And it's just it's a good time, man. Like it's just I enjoy the people of crypto, and it does, man. Like you go to these conferences, and some of the people, if you just like you're gonna judge them by judge the book by its cover or whatever. You probably wouldn't have hung out with them in real life, but like you kind of get the vibe. It doesn't matter where they're from or what they believe in or any of that stuff. We're all kind of on the same path and same mission, and it's like people go, oh, it's a one, like even for voting, people are like it's a one topic issue. Yeah, it's more than just one topic, man. It's like it's really a sign of freedom. We're tired of the way the system is. The system's clearly broken, and they just keep putting duct tape on it over and over and over. And eventually, the dam's going to break, and there's nothing they can do about it. And there's got to be a great reset. And I think we could be wrong, but it's grown on everyone, man. You've seen all these boomers, little one by one, just starting to just bow down and get on their knees and say they need crypto. So it is what it is, man. Not saying all crypto projects are going to work because that would be kind of naive to think that, but it is going to revolutionize everything, not even just the monetary system. So we're all early still. We're super early, like super, super early. And yeah, man, it's like people pass away, right? So all the people that are fighting against crypto, they're all older people because they don't even know how to use Web 2. So they're not going to understand it. When people don't understand things, they always resist it and fight against it. That's just human nature. It's like for anything. So they're all going to pass away. And then these kids now that are younger than us, like they're playing video games and they're already kind of like enmeshed with crypto. Like, oh yeah, V-Bucks. Like V-Bucks is a cryptocurrency, except for it's not ubiquitous and you can't like take the V-Bucks outside of Fortnite or whatever. But like they're all trained to use crypto, so it's gonna happen. It's just whatever, you know what I mean?
Crypto is like it's like stealth, like integrating into the world because people don't like the word crypto sometimes or NFT. So companies are just dodging that word and like sneaking it in. People are using it without even thinking. So probably some of the haters too. And
Mm-hmm.
to your point, like I look at demographics, and the boomers are gonna fade out over the next 20 years. It's gonna be a massive wealth transfer, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be the biggest wealth transfer ever. Because everything's digital anyways. Like you rarely go to a store, especially in America. Maybe it's different in other cultures, I would assume. But you rarely ever see anyone like pay money. Like you actually use paper money anymore, like ever. And I'm like where I'm originally from is like the hood. And I see it every once in a while when I go back, people are still using cash, but like it's just no one uses cash anymore. So everything's already digital, except for now, like with crypto, there's no intermediaries. If you want to transfer cash from one currency to the other, and not all the people that have been leeching off of us for forever that serve really no purpose besides being leeches. Like they kind of just get removed and get taken out of the way, which is good. It's people shouldn't have to go to another country, work, and then get rugged on a bunch of fees and all that crap from Western unions and those types of places. And it's just like, yeah, man, crypto it's inevitable. I've been saying it for so long. Like when it's sad to say this, but COVID was kind of probably like one of the best things that's ever happened to me because I finally had free time because I never had any free time to actually do a lot of research on crypto. And I just went down the rabbit hole, man. And like symbolically, it always messes with me because we stare at, like taxes and accounts and everything. And everything to me is like a ledger and the numbers need to add up or it just doesn't make sense. And I've always been like that with art, like any sort of arguments or sort of like disagreements is everything for me needs to be number based or factual based. Like I don't get into the emotions that people do. And as soon as you start to bring up a point of view, even if it has some merit, you lose me unless it's actual database and number based, not like, oh, well, there's a survey. We did, a survey of 100 people and they said this. No, it needs to be facts and based. It can't be feelings. And, crypto at the core surface of it is all factual based because it's all numbers and the numbers don't lie and it's there, it's transparent. So I look at it like a decentralized accounting ledger. Take that and then you build cool shit on it. And then you can have like what we're doing and we're all doing here and having fun on it. But it's like a system that is like it's there for you to see. Like it's not just like sketchy and like if you ultimately think about it, like the dollar is the biggest meme coin of all time. Like nothing will ever surpass the dollar as a meme coin. Once it was backed by anything, it became a meme coin. It's like there's no reserves. It's just like you take your money and then they just split it in tens and give it to 10 other people, and then they print more of it whenever they want and just do whatever they want. So like, how's that not a meme coin? And it's so centralized. You think about it, there's like one node operator. And like
Print.
it's such a meme coin, dude. Like, so whenever people sit here and say like Bitcoin's bad and this is bad, I just laugh at them. I think they're an idiot right away. I'm like, oh, you're an idiot because you have a dollar that you could just look at it. It just loses value. Like you lose value instantaneously by holding on to the dollar. Like they turned us all into gamblers. Like all these currencies, you have to gamble to like stay ahead, or if you don't stay ahead, then you're obsolete. And so,
Yeah.
Fed go burr.
yeah, dude. Oh, I got
I
chat.
think that's like part of the reason as well. Going back to what you said previously, like I'm not doxxed, not because nothing could ever lead back to me. There are some people who probably do know my ID, but it also comes back to that fact of, like you said, when you're in crypto, you're Cosmos Hoss, and people know you for what you've done in the space and what you do here. And same with me, and same with I think any project that's worth their weight. I used to be, back in the day when I was a young crypto trader, used to like, are they doxxed? Are they doxxed? It was like the most important thing. And these days, the most important thing I look at is, do they have a strong community? Are they trusted? Have they done things that are trustworthy? And I think that's kind of part of the power of keeping it that way. And the PFP and the crypto culture is, most people here are all judged by what they've done in the space. And it's, with everything being on chain, it's very hard to cheat and lie. It's like all the stuff that's just come out with Andrew Tate acting like he just burnt 10 mil and all crypto people are nerds. I don't know why anyone would buy his shit anyway. But, they've done like a deep dive into all the wallets and stuff. And there was so much insider trading. It was blatant. They just took all the money out and did it as a publicity stunt. And that kind of goes back to it, with it being on chain. People are going to know if you're dodgy and you're running dodgy projects and you're not doing well for the community. People are going to find you out very quickly. You might run away with a little bit of money on a rug, but people will find you. People will know what you've done. So yeah, I think that's a big power of crypto and the PFP. You can kind of be somebody else and be judged by your actions and what you do on here, rather than who you are or the color of your skin, or, like you say, if it's someone you'd even talk to in real life. Kind of takes out the equation, doesn't it?
Oh, dude, it's amazing. Like adding to that, I've been to so many different conferences, and I was just like alluding to earlier that maybe if you're judging people by the, whatever, like they call it the book cover or whatever, you wouldn't necessarily communicate or hang out or whatever, and people just don't care. Like I've never once, and I've met so many people in this space. Not once is someone like, "Hey, like, where'd you go to school?" Or like, what did you do for a living?" You know how you get that awkward conversation with like boomers right away? Like, there's a neighbor by me that I literally have never talked to because when I was first moving in, it was raining, it was hot and miserable out, and the person just started interrogating me. Not even like, "Hey, like, how are you? My name's so and so, blah blah blah." It was like, "What do you do for a living? What do you?" I was like, excuse me." I
How
was like,
much money you make?
yeah, and yeah, exactly. That's what they're doing. So it was like, honestly, I've been into this house for like, I don't know, 11 years now, 12 years. I've never, the only person I won't even like give the nod to because it's like, it was such a weird combo. And even to add to that, like one time it was pouring down rain and they left their doors open in their car. And I went over and shut it. And like, they came out of the house and I was like, "Hey, yeah, I just shut your doors." They didn't even say thank you or anything. It was just like a weird person. I'm like, and I said to myself, when people do that right away, they like start interrogating you without saying like, "Hi, my name's so and so." I just think they're miserable people, so I don't want to be affiliated with them anyways. That's just
It only
me.
goes downhill from there, isn't
Yeah, like
it?
if like when I go to like social gatherings and stuff, I don't mind it after you like say blah blah. You kind of do an intro, right? But like if it's the first thing you do, I'm just like, man, I'm not. I'm just. You'll see me. I'll just like slide away from the conversation and go talk to someone else. Like just at least pretend to like you want to get to know who I am, or you
Yeah.
want to know my resume. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not at a work. I'm not at a. I'm not trying to get a job from you. I'm just trying to like have a conversation. Like don't. But you don't get that in this space. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah," like they might ask you where you're from or like what what do you like to do, but they're not like, "Oh yeah, like what college did you go to? Like what job did you have? Where are you working at right now?" It's like,
It's more genuine conversation, isn't it? Like, there's a few people, who I've probably known them for like 2 months and, we didn't even know where the other person lived or what they do. That comes with time and just out of general, common interest rather than delving. I've had exactly the same experiences, and it's like people just want to have the full breakdown on you so they can, decide how to judge you basically, isn't it?
yeah, dude, it's so crazy. I'm gonna add, Papa, did you have anything to say? You've been up here for a minute.
Yeah, man, I am. I am. I just wanted to go back to the comment I heard about somebody being 38 and just kind of like deer in headlights when you mentioned crypto to some people. I myself am 47. I got into crypto in 2020, and that was, I mean, a large part of people, anybody that's over my age, it's definitely deer in headlights, or they'll say something now like crypto's dead or the wild haired man or something like that. But when I started getting into crypto in 2020 when COVID started, my neighbor across the holler, because I live in Kentucky, was telling me about Ethereum and helped me set up, get me into crypto and everything else. And he was a younger cat too. I mean, he had to be about 15 years younger than I was, but that was like the start of my journey. And then just coming from here to there, it's like, the big thing I found is just trying to find, like you were saying, like how the Fed works and the single node, operator, trying to highlight those single point failures because especially like my time in combat, those were some of the big things that we needed to look at. So I think it's all about education, and then also just trying to lay in something that they can familiarize themselves with, like nostalgia or something like that. That's exactly what I'm trying to do, with what I got going on. But I think it's a larger conversation that we need to have. And, with the future of Web3, I think it's just, what we need to be doing and where we need to be going with the internet and technology and everything else. I mean, everything that's, built upon it, all the awesome stuff that's being built upon it. It's just, it's amazing. So like I said, we just got to find a better way to shepherd people in and keep this thing going.
Yeah, one day at a time, one person at a time. But yeah, it's funny because like the people that are my age or older, they're the ones. It's so funny how humans are. Like they wait until Bitcoin's at all time highs and they're asking. And I remember, was it like 2 years ago? Bitcoin was like 17K or whatever around Christmas time or November, and everyone's because like my family they know I'm in the crypto, but they don't know I'm Cosmos Hoss, and I'm like putting like 15-hour days in all day long, but they just kind of know I'm in the crypto, and it's just I just do that by default, but because I don't care to share everything with people. That it's crazy to say, like it's whatever, family members, some of them. That's how I look at. Love them, but like, yeah, you're in my business. Get out of my business. But no, like in all seriousness, when it was like 17K, and they're like, "Oh, how's everything going?" Blah, blah. Did you hear so and so at the Super Bowl? They got Bitcoin. They got paid Bitcoin for their salary for the year. Now they're down. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, well, you're not going to be saying that when it's at like 100K. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll see. And then and I told them, like, just don't hit me up whenever it's like towards all time high and you're asking me to buy this. Just like that's all I ask. Like I told them, like, kind of like stern too, like, just don't hit me up whenever Bitcoin's at like 60, 70, 80K and you're like, should I be buying it right now? Because obviously I'm telling you to buy it right now at 17K, 18K or whatever it was. And they, I'm sure they didn't buy it, but it's just the way it is. It's just, I don't know what it is. People want certainty, but those same people will go play the lottery all the time and scratch offs and go play the slot machines and stuff. It's just like, it's so hard to figure out people sometimes. But anyways, yeah, dude, that's awesome that, I always respect, not that I don't respect everyone, but like I always respect people that are like, I don't want to say successful, but they're okay in their ways. And then they just kind of like plateau or just stop learning or being open-minded to things, like, it was so cool, man. I seen some people, and I hate to say the word boomers all the time, but like they were obviously boomers, but they were at the consensus event. And the one guy, like I could tell he was successful. He's just like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm 78 years old. I'm just very open minded, and he's like, I know this is the future. It's like that's why he said he was there. I was like, dude, that's just like I inspire to be like that. If I'm that age, and who knows, man, we'll probably have civilization on Mars by then. But like, I want to be open minded to like the future.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest things I try to remember, and it's something I heard from Alan Watts, is that 99% of what comes in, we actually miss. So we're only getting 1% of what's coming in, like what's the larger story, what's going on. And, I'm always just, indelibly curious anyways, I always want to learn what's going on, but, you got to future proof yourself and just keep your mind open and, just keep going with the flow.
Yeah, going with the flow is the way to go, man. That's like the best saying. Just go with the flow. That's why I like going to like the events and stuff. I just go with the flow. But what up, Ruben?
Same old, creeping around the underbelly of various decentralized situations. Hey, would you say that the term boomer is more of a choice than an age bracket?
Yeah, I would think so. But like
Choice.
yeah, it's definitely a choice. For sure it's a choice. Because, I do talk to people that even my age, some a little bit older, where they're done. Like they just shut their mind off. They're just done. They're not going to learn anything. You can't convince them. They want to be miserable or whatever, and it is what it is. But you tend to see that more with the older-ish generations because whatever, they're just
Sure.
tired,
Yeah.
they're fatigued, they've worked their entire existence, they've been in the hamster wheel for 30 plus years, and they're done. So I get
They got the cultural inertia, right? Like they weren't. Not only were they not crypto natives, but most of them weren't digital natives.
Well, and also they were children of, parents that were in the depression as well, and it seems like even for me, it's like boomers, are definitely closed-minded. Then Gen Xers, where I'm at, a little bit better, but as you get younger and younger, it seems like minds are more open. They're more curious, that I can see at least, especially my four daughters too, man. It's, between 17 and 25. I mean, those kids are like so open-minded and it's just a different vibe than what I'm used to in my generation and trying to deal with people of my generation.
I appreciate that. It feels as though, because if I were to try to find, correlation is not causation, right? But if I had to guess, there may be a crossover about the line when the internet turned up, or YouTube turned up, right? Or like self-sovereign discovery turned up, effectively, as opposed to like, television or radio or whatever, right? I say that because I feel like there was, I got like maybe the last tiny little bit of it, right? I remember being 6 years old and waking up in New Zealand, and we had 4 television channels for the whole country, and we didn't have enough television content to put on these 4 channels, and so like there were like 12 hours overnight. It was just nothing. But like the cartoons would start at 6 a.m., right? And so I'd like wake up at 5:30 and just like twitch in front of the television until for half an hour, and then I got to watch cartoons. But like only one cartoon because there's only 4 options. The other 3 windows, right? It was very like narrow, it was very funneled. Today, every year that passes, 30,000 years of YouTube videos are uploaded, which I thought was interesting. And by way of contrast, so if you compare those environments where there's like an environment where it has a sort of narrow bandwidth of information, whether it's, the boomer generation, or in terms of, and I use the term as an age bracket there, after being so high and mighty 2 seconds ago, right? My bad. But like, I feel as though there's this is a degree of recursion here, right? Because like before them, right, the silent generation, interesting name by the way, they had radio, right? And so I imagine there was probably a similar shift between radio versus VHS. What? Crazy. By comparison, probably.
No, that's good points. I think like the obviously, because if you think about it, right, even afterwards, once the internet became prevalent like throughout the world, that actually empowered so many people in so many areas. Because like if you have the internet, you have all the data for the most part, and if you have all the data, you can train yourself to do whatever. But you can also sell and have commerce, and essentially you raise the GDP of your region, even if it was kind of like a third world country or whatever. So yeah, the power of the internet, right? Because if you think about it, the average person nowadays that's like always doing research is just so much more intelligent than people back in the day, because they had to go to a library and a lot of those books were outdated. Even if you were trying to be nerding out all the time, it was really, you had to go out of your way. Now it's just so much easier. You can just like ask ChatGPT. Not that it's foolproof, but you can get all the data like so quick. It's instantaneous. And with my previous job, I had to deal with the public, and it would always irritate me that people legitimately would wait 45 minutes or so to speak to me about whatever particular topic. And not all the time, but some of the times I didn't even know the answer to it right away. And I would just Google search it or ask ChatGPT or whatever. And it would give me the answer. It's like, bro, like you just wasted 45 minutes of your life that you'll never get back. And then you want to call and bitch and whine that you had to wait 45 minutes. But the solution's right there. You have a smartphone. I know you do. And it's like, why can't you just, you know what I mean? But that's what's insane, that people still do that. And, you just don't know you just ask the computer. It'll find it for you. But, what's up? Yeah. So I wanted to shout out Chaz. I just met Chaz. I don't remember what space that was on, but like really doing some cool AI stuff and with artwork and really cool, man. Like awesome stuff. Like he'll do his own work, but I'll let you talk about your own stuff.
What up, dude? How are you?
Good, man.
Right on. Yeah, I've been doing AI stuff for like a few years now, so it's been a minute. I'm actually working with like a few companies now. I got a couple companies like approach me and they were like, "Hey, be our AI partner, and like we're gonna give you like bottomless credits, and like you can do whatever the fuck you want with them." You know what I mean? Like they're like just create and like have a free hand in creating and just tag us when you bring your creations. I'm like, cool, let's go. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about that. I did something really cute and fun this week. I did like a drop with a super cheap gallery over on Nifty Kit on base, and it's called the Little Bots. Like they're literally what it sounds like. They're like cute little bots. Like they're pretty basic, but they're cool though. They're fun, and they're like, I feel like I did this at a time when like there's so much weird, serious like stuff going on right now on the timeline that like we needed something cute and fun to come along and like distract us from it. So and Super Chief Gallery was super excited about doing this with me, which like I was excited about because Super Chief Gallery is like one of my favorite like people in Web3. But everything they do, I feel like everything they put their hands on turns to gold. They have galleries in New York, San Francisco, Japan, Florida, and Los Angeles. So like working with them is like a big deal to me. They've been around for a long they've been doing art galleries pre NFT anyway. So they've been around for a long time, and I really like the people that are behind that. So Yeah, that's what I got going right now. And there's got a bunch of stuff also in my what's it called on my link tree has all my other stuff that's like much more serious art, like really beautiful. Like I do a lot of stuff where I'll do AI, but like I use my own photography with like either people or landscapes, and then or cityscapes, and then I put them into AI and do prompts on top of it, and create my own models and stuff and my own like generations out of that stuff, and then usually typically like we'll take hundreds 300 layers, throw them into Photoshop and like tear them apart like I would like with a pair of scissors and a pair of magazine and make collages out of them and do like crazy scenes and worlds and stuff, and it's fun to me. You know what I mean? It's like,
Do you have an external hard drive? Because I would feel like that's going to take up a lot of space.
oh yeah, I have one, two, three. I have like 5 external hard drives. I just got one recently. It's 12 terabytes.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. I think I have a 12. I might have a 12 or a
Yeah.
20.
I
Yeah,
have the G drive, the one of the G drive ones that's like 12 terabytes. It's really expensive.
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing it's intensive, but yeah, I did pin up your public men at the top. So anyone who wants to check it out, they're really cool, man. Like sometimes people give a AI artwork a bad rap because people are kind of lazy with it, but I could tell that you put in a lot of work. You're using your own photo. You're doing all kinds of different layers, and they're really cool, man.
Yeah, like I was just in another space this morning, and like literally was like arguing with people about this shit, and I was just like, why are you guys even like being so miserable? Like I'm like y'all forgot to learn how to have fun, dude. I'm like,
Yeah, people are
relax.
miserable, bro. Like I try to the coffee with Hoss is about people not being miserable.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I'm like, don't you know I'm half bought, motherfucker? I can't. That shit's gonna bounce off me anyways, and I'm not gonna feel. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get mad about it. So like, why even? I'm like, whatever. I'm like, but yeah, they were like trying to argue every fine point. I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah, there you go. We don't have time for that. I rarely get mad. The only time I get kind of angry a little bit is if I'm super hungry and tired at the same time. Then I'm like a little cranky. But I'm like the commercial. I need a Snickers bar or whatever. You know what I mean? But no, man. And shout out to the Bobber crew too. Like I own a little bit of Bobber over in Multiverse. If anyone hasn't checked it out, Multiverse is pretty chill. Eventually, I gotta mute you. It's echoing. Hold on a second. Hold
Oh, yeah.
on.
By the way, I gotta bounce out in like 9 minutes for the. I gotta go to the timepieces space this morning.
Yeah, you're cool. You got
So,
to come. You got to come over and chill. I like it,
yeah.
man. You can anytime you want to stop by. If there's anything I can help out with,
Uh,
just reach out. But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
the little bots. It started off as it's got a slow burn. Like there's only 24 out of 333 that are minted right now. But like I'm cool with that. Like I'm happy. Like the fact that I even sold 24 of them in this like temperature and climate, I'm like that's cool. That's a good start for one
Yeah,
day.
man. Good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
good
you
stuff.
take time to like check them all out. Check out the videos in the pin, dude. They're super dope and fun. They're just fun to look at, if anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I know I gave you a follow the other day. I don't even remember what space it was on when I met. Yeah, dude, it was good stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I enjoy that space. Have a good rest of your Friday and good weekend, brother.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for the.
Yep.
I was in earlier with crypto not having as much like cultural inertia as a lot of places, right? Like, a place of work, or like no one, no one's asking, what your degree is or whatever. Uh, I wonder if that's because of how fast it grew, and it sounds kind of corny, but how decentralized it grew. Like if you compare it to places where there's a lot of cultural inertia and like people are asking really specific questions, like Hollywood or the automotive industry or any group that's got like 1 million plus people for like 40 years working with each other, right? You get the hierarchies, you get the politics, you get all the stuff, and instead it ends up being its own little weird microcosm of a community. But a lot of them are meeting each other in physical spaces. But crypto in 2013, when the Mt. Gox thing hit, there are 300,000 wallets. And today there's a lot more, right? I want to say like 30 million, or maybe north of 30 million. That doesn't necessarily mean 30 million humans. It could mean less than that because a lot of people have fractional wallets, et cetera, et cetera. But like, it's a lot more than 30,000, right? Or 300,000. So if you think of like a country, right? Like 30 million, that's like 6 New Zealands. It's like almost 2 Australias worth of humans. But they haven't been hanging out with each other next to each other for 40 years. They kind of just met each other through the internet. And it has some really interesting cultural elements. And I'm not surprised to hear that, we're not asking, so what do you do? Whenever we meet each other, right? Which I swear is like the amount. LA loves to ask that question with that specific accent. It's real. But,
I find the
go ahead.
question, not that I need to hide anything, because it wasn't like I was like, oh yeah, I'm embarrassed to say what my profession or job was. This is pre crypto. It's just more like I don't like, I just want to know who you are. Like, as in, do you seem cool? Would I want to have a beer with you, or like, say hello or whatever? Like, I don't care what you do. Like, to me, as long as you're not like getting arrested and you're not like killing people, I feel like you're probably a decent person. So I don't care about all the other shit. Maybe now after I get to meet you or something, well into it, and like if you want to share with me,
Sure, yeah.
because it's like, I don't know, man. You could just tell right away that people are trying to like put a resume to your name right away. Like, oh, what does this person do? They make this much. Okay, they do this. They do, and it's like they're not genuine. They don't really care about you. I don't have time for fake people. Like, I just don't. It's like, if you're gonna be fake, you'll feel the unease with me right away. I'm just gonna shun you right away. It's just like, I don't have time.
There's a lot of folks. Would you say there's a lot of folks out there that feel transactional?
Oh yeah, super transactional. Even you said you're in LA. Like a difference between like LA and just like I'm in like Pittsburgh, for example. The Pittsburgh.
I should qualify it. Not all
No,
LA,
not all LA,
right? Like,
but like
but like
one of the things I noticed right away is about like, this is more out that way, I would say, is like when you do a good deed, or like you, like, say you broke down and I came and fixed your tire or something. They assume that you want a tip or whatever, like you want money for it. It's like, no, man, just, hey, have a good day. I was just trying to help. You get that more in like I don't know, not in LA necessarily, but
Nah,
I
I'm
think
from
you
LA.
get it
Like,
more.
people are less smiley, like less likely to give you the nod. And dating wise, like when people are from out of state, I'm like, ooh, that's a big plus.
It's funny. Would you say there's like a population density thing going
yeah,
on?
for sure, I would say so. Yeah, it's refreshing though, man. Like, I get, like, it's crazy because I'll go to these conferences and go to like an after party or like a side event, and some of the people I've never. Sometimes I'm meeting them in person for the very first time, and it's just like I've known them my entire life. And even though we've only had a few conversations on like an X space or maybe on private calls or a meet or whatever, it's refreshing, dude. It's like, I only get that in here, or like literally close friends that I grew up and played like ball with, or like, how you meet one of your friends that you might not have seen for 10, 15 years, and it's like you haven't missed a beat. I get that a lot in this space, which is crazy. It's like, you just don't get that. It's good vibes, man. I think everyone wants to like just be free, right? Like, we don't want to, and we want to. And one thing too I like about this space is people really do appreciate the work that you put into something. It's like, you don't, like you were saying about transactional. You work in the hamster wheel, and you could do so well. Not, this isn't, I want to say every single place that you work at, but most of the places, they just don't care. It's just so transactional.
It's interesting. If I sort of wind back, because like the super early culture, around like 2010-ish, wasn't as diverse as it is now. That's another big shift, and I think it's, to me, it's like a signal. Like, it's a signal of durability, and strength, in a lot of ways. But I remember when it was most, like, I want to say 80% open source developers, usually back end, right? The conferences were orderly, um, relatively, right? And I never would have picked the artists. I wouldn't have. If you'd said to me in 2011 that, like, oh yeah, you know how you think the crypto thing is going to be, bigger than this tiny community? It's going to be the artists. The artists are going to turn up real hard. I don't think I would have. I would have been like, it's gonna be business dudes, man. It's gonna be suits. It's gonna be suits, and then like way later artists. Uh, but I'm so glad that the artists turned up, and I realize now that they also appreciate freedom of expression and a number of the ideals that were at the heart of some of the core implementations.
I think Renaissance has come to mind a few times because it's like technology and art.
Interesting, yeah. Sorry, I kind of interrupted you there, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it is nice because it's like a lot. You like go to cities, even in Pittsburgh. Like I get downtown, and it'll be on the weekend, and there's artists that have their paintings and stuff, and it's so hard for them to even get seen, But like this space, you could be anywhere, and you can express yourself, and people from all over the world can see your piece of artwork. It's really cool, especially the ones that are hand drawn. Like I really I really appreciate people that hand draw their artwork. Like I'm like, yeah, because I know how long it takes. 4, 5, 6 hours, some of them even longer. It's like, dude, you have this like it's on the blockchain forever as long as that blockchain still exists. But yeah, it's nice to see that I don't want to say the forgotten ones, but like people like that are just, and I don't want to say celebrities, but they're just well taken care of, and it's like the culture. Like I was at a Stargaze party on Sunday night, and two of the artists, they're just chilling. It was just like cool to see that just they had an idea and created some artwork, and the community kind of took over it and just ran with it. And it's like beautiful, like seeing decentralization and movement. And yeah, man, it is, man. It's like the butterfly effect. It's always there's more and more people. You can even track the data. One of the things I really, kind of get off a little of the topic is one of the reasons I'm not like really bullish on base as an L2 is that one, Coinbase really can't promote it because it's kind of like a security. That's one. But two, I think it's like only like 6% or so of crypto users like actually use Coinbase. I love Coinbase, but like it's just, it's a small fragment. And then out of that, all the new users that are onboarding onto Coinbase, they're really just going over to Solana to buy meme coins and stuff. So it's like they're not even capturing that segment.
Really?
Yeah, someone shared it with me. I have to find it, but like you can track the numbers. People are kind of just going from Coinbase right into Solana because like Solana has all the memes, man. It's like one thing about people I've learned about, especially in America, is like they love meme coins.
Can't
It's
believe
like a
memes.
social lottery, right? They all have this mentality that they're going to buy this meme coin and become like a millionaire or whatever with, and maybe some of them already have, but it's like they see stuff go from 6 million market cap to a billion, or yeah. Like
Right, right.
you got celebrities in it. Some of them have bad intentions, but like Iggy Azalea has like 7.6 million followers, and she's really into it. Like she might have someone helping her, obviously too, but she really gets into it. And her PFP is a mad lad, and she's playing the part, and she's active. Like the things for me, memes need to make me laugh, and she does that. They need to be funny and all that, and just different and innovative, and they're capturing it, and Solana has become, and I know the foundation got behind it, but like they have become like the meme coin hub. And even if you think about it, right, like I don't even know anyone that ever really mints NFTs on Ethereum anymore, but that used to be the thing. Everyone used to want, oh, I'm going to mint my NFT on Ethereum, but now it's not.
I see, you check the volume. Check the volume of instantiation of 1177 contracts. There's volume.
Is it on ETH though, or is it the L2s?
Oh, that's fair. Okay. Yep. No, a lot of L2s.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, but I guess that the purpose of like Ethereum could kind of be like a Supreme Court anyways. You don't need to like have everything go to the Supreme Court.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know. I'm not as bullish on L2s though, just for the simple fact that they're so centralized, or just a multi-sig pros and
Right.
stuff like that. I get kind of worried about that. I don't really like. I feel more comfortable in, even though it doesn't have as much liquidity, obviously, but like in Cosmos, because it's just it's just there's no escrows. It's just I like that. There's no escrows from going from one blockchain to the other. I don't like the whole escrow point.
Right. I appreciate that.
But no, man, it's probably gonna wrap it up. I know Chris, I got you up here if you wanted to say what's going on, and then we'll probably wrap it up here soon.
Hey, what's up, dude? No, I was just curious. How'd New York go last week? What was the coolest thing you saw at the conference?
New York was great. It was definitely something Ruben would have appreciated, because it was literally like a computer science course. Like that's all it really was, because it was all devs. Like it was no shilling. It was like what they're working on. There's a lot of code, a lot of like why they're doing exactly what they're doing, and I would say that's the most interesting thing. Well, Jay Kwan's Gano Land is just like it's crazy. Like I got to re-listen to it. I have the whole entire video of it, and it's just interesting. Like it's basically like this VM that any smart contract, it seemed like, can communicate with other smart contracts. And then he was going into that. It was some of it was going over my head. I'm not going to lie to you, because I'm not a computer science major, but it was interesting. I think that there were some primitives. It's called Circle.money, which the founder, one of the founders, which was cool too, by the way. The coolest thing is that Bucky and Jay Kwan, both the founders of Cosmos and the SDK and all that, were literally in the same building for the first time in well over 3 years, and I was there for that. So that was pretty cool, because they both kind of went their separate ways and all that. And they were cordial about it too. Like they were being cool with each other and talking and having conversations, which was nice to see. But they're both working on some interesting things. Like Bucky's working on this thing called Circles.money. You guys can check it out. But they're doing some stuff with like privacy conserving for COSM WASM, and some, like, initially I thought like, well, why don't they just use Secret Network? And because Secret Network has this privacy by default layer, and it's kind of like what they're known for. But he was going into depth with SGX and Intel, and that due to the hardware that all of the validators have to run on, he couldn't do exactly what he was going to do. And it seemed like he was doing some stuff with ZK, but it was also like you can pick and choose things that you want to be private with, and it's pretty much impossible to do that with Secret Networks tech stack. And that's another presentation I need to re-listen to and get into it. I know the videos are going to be live in like another week or so, because it wasn't for the public initially, and they're gonna put it out there once it's all edited and with the slides, and it's really good stuff. So I'm interested to see what he's doing. I mean, for both of those, I mean, those guys are so innovative. They essentially created Cosmos, and there's like 92 blockchains on it. So like they're kind of like the founding fathers of that. I'm sure there's some other people I'm probably not mentioning that helped to build that, but anything that they're working on obviously has me interested right away. Evmos was doing some cool stuff. They're all doing cool stuff. I mean, it's just, I think the presentation, I forget who it was from Osmosis, had some cool things. They were talking about essentially how, it sounded like almost like validators get choosing of what geographical location they are sometimes. Not necessarily on Osmosis, but kind of throughout crypto. Just due to the ping issues and how fast it is and the latency and everything else. And he was going into details about uh, creating decentralized front ends, which I don't know why people don't do it. It should be important, because as decentralized as everything is in this industry, all the front ends are so centralized for the most part. So it's like kind of an attack. Even though you can't really take the chain down, you can hold it, and everyone gets scared because their favorite website's down or whatever, and it just causes panic. So I think having a decentralized front end is probably going to be the way in the future. So that was kind of interesting what they were talking. And they had like these, like I said, I'm not a dev. I know basic code. I could CLI a little bit, but like they had these test environments that the other developers can use and stuff. And it's going to be interesting. And what was really fascinating too is that after, I thought the most beneficial stuff was after their presentations. Like the developers kind of had free reins to like ask questions or dig in, or like almost want to call it attack sometimes. like get into the nuts and bolts of it. And it was really cool to see that, because they're asking questions that I'm not going to lie to you. I personally, maybe sometimes every once in a while, I would have asked that same particular question because I was curious about it, but they're asking like next level stuff because that's what they do for a living. So that was pretty cool. But like at the end of the summation of all of that was like, I feel really comfortable thinking that, there's going to be a lot of cool shit built and improvements and just, yeah. So I feel really good, choosing to be somewhat of a Cosmos maxi. And again, I don't think of Cosmos as Atom. I just think of it as just like the future internet, all the things communicating with one another. So there's that too.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the update, man. I'll be looking for those videos.
Yeah, I'll make sure I ping them because they told me I have some of the slides, and I have audio of most of it, but it's like on my phone and it's just kind of shitty, and I don't want to like, oh yeah, it's gonna be professional because they had like the camera and everything and all that stuff. So with the cameras and the audio, it's gonna be dope. So that's something you definitely want to listen to. I mean, if you're not like a real tech enthusiast, like most of us probably are in here, you're just like trying to chill with like, NFTs and memes and just kick it. It's going to go over your head. Like, don't be intimidated because I've been digging into this shit 12, 15 hours a day most days. And some of it was going over my head. And I'm, like I said, and I'm like a real big enthusiast. Like, I love nerding out. And it's probably what Ruben might be you probably would understand most of it, if not all of it. So that's probably something you might
I
want to
tell you
know.
what, dude, I probably wouldn't, but like I do enjoy those because that's where you learn shit, right? Like whatever level that you're at, you're not going to walk away with nothing.
Oh yeah, man. Like because like a lot of times I go to the conferences, I don't want to say I don't learn anything because I always learn something. But like this was the first time I was in a room where I was like, God damn, this is like next level. Like every single thing that every one of these individuals are saying, I either barely know it or don't know it at all. And it was like, and I'm real competitive, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna study the
That's
shit.
hilarious.
Study it. And, unfortunately I don't get any sort of like credit for it. Like I don't get like college course credits, but this shit was like getting an MBA or like your PhD in computer science. And, some of them I think even have PhDs that were there too. Like they're talking
Guarantee
about
it.
some stuff.
Those
So
nerds.
yeah, it was awesome, man. I was like, I felt so like appreciative to even be in that room because it was like a private thing. It wasn't just like open to everyone. And I just was like, damn, this is awesome right now. Like, if you would have told me I'd be doing this like 4 years ago, I was like, man, there's no way. And but yeah, my goal too is once this cycle is over, who knows when that is. Hopefully, we have a really long bull market. But once the bear market comes, whenever that is, hopefully for not a long time, I plan on trying to learn how to build more stuff and do more stuff in this space. I think that's like my next thing. I just don't have the time to do it right now because I want to keep up with all the shit that's going on right now. And, even though we're kind of like going sideways right now in the market, to me, it's still the bull market. So it's like, I don't have time to be devoting 6 hours a day to learn Cosm Wasm or something, but
You know what I recommend from the standpoint of learning? And I don't have a lot of advice on this because I'm not like the dude that does the stuff, but I've done a little bit. And the most practical advice that I heard for any of that stuff was build something that's real small, like childish small, and do it start to finish, and like use that difficulty curve as the thing that leads you to what to learn. And like the cool part is that you don't have to do a massive build and you don't have to do layers and layers and layers and layers of understanding. But like by the time you've finished it, it might only be a week, depending on what you're trying to do, right? So if you pick something small, your lesson plan is basically taken care of, and you don't have to think about it. Whereas like I find often when you're trying to, I should learn some Python, and you open up like the library and it's like 12 tomes, awesome, I guess I'll just read all of these in a weekend. Jesus, right? But like if you start on, pick something small and knock it out, then that can also teach you like the difference between what can be known and what can be known that actually matters, which is useful.
I think that's good. Yeah, that was kind of my idea because like when I first started messing around with Python, I did exactly what you were saying. Oh, just like dig into the book, and you're kind of just copying and pasting what it's telling you to do, and it's like, are you really learning it? It's almost like just build something from scratch, have like some GitHub up or whatever, and then just dig into whatever part of it that you don't know, and then just go from there. Just build your own stuff, and then what's cool is I know so many people now, and I'm not trying to flex. I just know so many people that's what they do for a living. So I could even ask them like, "Hey, what do you suggest here?" And that's kind of how I'm going to learn it, man. I'm just going to do it and be kind of fun because I know basically, like I said, I could CLI, run validators and some validators and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm just out of it. But yeah, this conference was like so next level, man. It was like, damn, dude, these guys are just they're next level.
Can I offer a suggestion for your first project?
What's
Out
up?
of personal selfishness, find an old Tamagotchi emulator. I guarantee you find it on Pirate Bay, and hook it up to your least favorite cryptocurrency, and it only gets fed when the cryptocurrency, performs or like has transaction volume. And if it doesn't, then your Tamagotchi pet dies.
I like that. That's actually a really cool idea. I'm old school. I'm writing it down on a piece of paper as you're talking. So it's like, yeah, that's actually a pretty cool idea. Just got to find one that actually might go up a little bit. So I need to feed it. You know what I mean? That's the tricky.
and then you hook that Tamagotchi up to a Twitter feed, and then the community desperately tries to keep it alive. I'm just checking it out. It's just some ideas, just emotional extortion for a year.
That's an awesome idea, actually. But if anyone, all the speakers, if you want like a couple minutes to just any closing thoughts or words, and then I'm gonna get on with my Friday. I think today I'm actually gonna call it early day. I just like been grinding so hard, man. I got home it was Tuesday-ish, and then doing stuff around the house, and I think I did like 5 Twitter Spaces this week, which is like not my normal schedule. I usually only do like a couple because it's exhausting. But dude, I can't get enough of it, man. Like I just love this space, love meeting new people and talking and sharing thoughts, and appreciate everyone that tunes in. Appreciate all of it, man. Just keep doing your thing. And I always, always, always encourage people, man. Like I don't care what you do for a living, you can find a place. I'm not telling you to quit your job right now, but like get into something because the space is going to keep moving. And I can tell you right now, the happiness that I have compared to like 4 years ago is just incredible because I was doing a job that I knew the outcome every single day, and I'm pretty sure most of us could share that same experience. And it's just shitty, man. It's like I don't think how life is supposed to be like that. It's always supposed to be something new, exhilarating, cut edge. Like the outcome is not known until it happens, and that's kind of what this space offers because it's like it doesn't matter how much you don't know. And then also what's cool is like if you have been grinding this space and you have like general knowledge, like you already have a thumbs up, a leg up on people that are outside this industry that might have some sort of fancy marketing degree or fancy whatever, because you get sought out right away. Like if you don't know what you're talking about, it doesn't matter what school you went to. Like people will know that. Like, oh, this person's an idiot. Like they don't know anything about crypto. I don't care that you have some fancy marketing degree, because one thing I've learned that marketing principles are kind of the same, but in order to market something or talk about something or promote it or whatever, you need to know what you're talking about. Like so you still need to learn anyways, and probably most of you have learned something along the road. So
Yeah. If you don't mind a quick plug-in before you jump off,
yeah, man, go ahead.
I'd love to give a few a couple of NFTs and a few spots or whatever in your community. So jump in the DM after. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone that's getting involved with Pushing Magic. Just looking down the chat, see Homestead, Backbone, V3, all of these guys have actually currently got Wizard DAO NFTs and Magic Air spots up for grabs. So jump on and get involved with them. And equally, we've got a space ourselves at 6 p.m. UTC tonight, and I'm going to be dropping some alpha that I've not put out there yet about one of the first key utilities that there's going to be for Wizard DAO. I really think it's going to benefit the whole space on Injective. And then our actual pre-sale, our pre-sale is going to be tomorrow at 5 p.m. So yeah, all the information's on my wall. The actual space is going to be on the Wizard DAO page, which I have posted in the comments. And yeah, anyone's welcome to come up and ask questions. You know, it's more of a community vibe, bit like this. You know, we're chilling. We'll go through some of the key alphas, and you know, there's a whole post on the page about all the socials, where you need to go, what we're about, and stuff. So yeah, thanks for letting me speak here, Hoss, and have a great weekend, everyone. Really looking forward to it. I think we're going to do some big things together.
Yeah, man. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Friday. I hope you have a good space later on. And yeah, if anyone out there, definitely tune in. So, and I wanted to shout out MarginX. They are sponsor the show, and they're awesome. So check it out. I just pinned a tweet. It's a great platform for meme coins. Like they have all kind of different meme coins on there, and it's really chill. And eventually, coffee. Well, it's kind of on there right now, but we'll get that going. And yeah, man. So shout out to them. Shout out to everyone else. And what up, Weston?
I just want to say thank you for, grinding so hard so we don't have to.
Appreciate it, man. It's fulfilling, man. Like it doesn't feel like work, even though my body sometimes is like, bro, like you gotta chill. Like I felt like an old person yesterday. I just like fell asleep in the middle of the day for like an hour. Was so tired, man. My wife's like, you need to take a break. You know, she's always telling me. Shout out to her because she helps me with a lot of stuff. She's kind of the brains behind the operation. She's really supportive, and hopefully, everyone has someone that supports them because this space without any support would not be fun. And even people on the outside, like they laugh about it. I seen this video of kids that they said what they want to do in the future, and it was like this. It was a crypto person's kid or whatever, but the kids before, oh, I want to be a professional athlete, blah blah blah, and like, sorry, I hate to be your bubble buster, but most likely you're probably not going to be a professional athlete. Like, it's just like nearly impossible. It's so hard. Not only do you have to like devote your entire life and existence to working out and playing whatever sport or participating, but you need to get lucky and not get hurt and so many variables, right? It's probably better to be like, I would like to be a doctor or like a scientist or whatever. Because you can kind of control your destiny in that situation. But the moral of the story was, yeah, all these kids were saying like what they wanted to be, and then this one kid came up and said he wants to own a Bitcoin mining farm or something like that. And literally all these people were laughing at him, like laughing, like actually kind of like meaningful laugh. And it was like, dude, that's crazy because he could do that probably one day, and he'll probably have the last laugh if he does get to do that. So yeah, it's like sometimes I feel like to be not revolutionary, but like to do something outside the whims and be really successful, you have to like take risk and calculated risk and gambles. And I think we're all doing that. Maybe we're wrong, but I think we're not. And where's my thesis was like, even if I'm wrong and everything like crashed and went to zero, yeah, it would suck, but I had a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of cool people, travel, do a lot of things that I obviously would have never been able to do if I kept living in that hamster wheel. So again, I'm not encouraging you to like quit your job overnight or anything like that, but maybe slowly but surely find a way in. And we all have skill sets that are cool about this space. It's like you don't need to be a coder. You could just be good at whatever it is and find a place. And this space is going to, in my opinion, keep exponentially growing. So there's going to be more and more help, more and more people getting into the space. And again, it doesn't matter. I don't like one thing I told you earlier in the space, if you're listening, no one cares if you have a college degree. They don't care what school you went to. None of that shit matters, man. It just doesn't matter. It's just like your reputation, are you respectful, reliable, accountable, and you get it. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. Like you got to work, but like you can do it. I know you can. Like I can do it. You can do it. That's the motivation of the Fridays. Like if I could do it, some guy that like was an accountant at finance and kind of doesn't do the flexing and showing his face all over Twitter and all that crap. If I could do it, be invited to go on to these conferences and speak in front of a bunch of people. How nervous I was the very first time. I spilled water all over myself. I was on stage. I spilled water all over myself. That's how nervous I was. But the moral is like you could do it. So do it. Anyways, anyone else got any final thoughts? Papa, nice talking to you, man. It was nice seeing you. I think you were going through some stuff, so it's good that you're doing better.
No, yeah, I greatly appreciate it, man. I want to rip off what you said, though. I mean, I originally came from the projects in Detroit, man, so street knowledge was it. I mean, I did get my degrees, but it was just one facet of everything I have. So, I mean, you're absolutely spot on with that. And yeah, I mean, I did go through a lot of stuff. Like I said, I served 3 tours, was nearly killed in '05. But fortunately, my doc put me through ketamine therapy starting in October. And for the first time in 20 years, I was able to start driving again, and they actually showed MRI scans of where my brain's actually growing back. So I feel like I'm back where I was 20 years ago. So just ready to rock and roll, man.
It's so good to hear, man. Thank you for your service, and glad you made it out, man. That's awesome, dude. And
I appreciate it, brother.
yeah, it's a good story, man. Because like it's valuable lessons. Like where I'm from too. It's like I'm proud I'm from there. I don't care to go back too often, even though
Yeah,
I'm about to go back where I'm from because we're believe it or not, 20-year anniversary from school, which is pretty wild. I'm getting old, but yeah, I'm gonna go back and see a bunch of people that I probably haven't seen since 20 years or whatever it's been, and it's gonna be kind of interesting. But yeah, man, just get involved, dude. That's all I tell everyone that.
absolutely.
It's crazy because like you feel so relieved. Like if you find a way in the space, it's just like so relieving because everyone, for the most part, in this space, like everyone appreciates your work and effort. And you really don't get that outside there. Like, people just don't care. It's so transactional and things of that nature. I'm not saying it's easy. Like, it's not easy, man. Like, it's a lot of work. It's so much work. And you have to be reliable. You can't just, like, go rogue because it's easy to go rogue. People do it in this space. Like, I've had people, I try to get people to help me do some things, and then they're, like, not accountable. And it's like, bro, I just, like, yeah, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Like, I can't help you, But if you are someone as a go-getter, like, reach out because there's like stuff I'm working on, or like I'm always asked like all the time because like one of the cool things that I've did in this space or still do in this space is that I speak to so many different teams. I think I've spoken with every team in Cosmos on private calls. And the way I roll is like, I don't care what you tell me. You literally can tell me anything. And I will not tell anyone else ever unless you want me to. But, I got this like good network of people and they're always like, hey, so-and-so can help with this or that. And it's like, usually I do, right? So it's like, but even that, like, there's just not enough people out there. And if you're reliable and accountable, respectful and all that, like, dude, the sky's the limit. That's all I could say. It's like the sky is the limit. And it doesn't matter where you live or if you're broken English or whatever, it doesn't matter. So it's all good. Like, yeah, English helps for sure. But it's the priority. It's the main language, but that'll change over time anyways. And everything's usually done on the computer anyway. So there's translators and stuff like that. So it's like, just reach out. But anyways, happy Friday, everyone. Hope you had a good time. It was good vibes. As always, I appreciate everyone. Until the next Friday, hope everyone has a good weekend. Cheers. Touch some grass. Have a good one. Take care.